Cheer. You guys are now listening to the Mr. Sanchez Show. I'm your host, Mr. Sanchez. Thank you guys for watching. I got my producer in the back, Young Glizzy, on the ones and twos. How you doing, Young Glizzy? All right. So everything's good. I had a good week. You know what I'm saying? I'm hyped. I'm charged. I'm on the Zyn nicotine right now again, getting used to it. It's got me a little shaky, but you know what I'm saying? It's good. Keeps me mentally focused. I've been taking like 3 scoops of creatine a day. It's helping me out in the gym. It's helping me out with mental focus as well. I highly recommend you guys, you know what I'm saying, start taking that. It helps with a lot of stuff. My week was good. You know, God is great. Paper's straight. I'm in good vibes. I'm in good spirits. You know what I'm saying? I'm having fun, and you know, moving forward, everything is good. Now, getting into the topics, you know what I mean? We got AB. He crashed out at Aiden Ross's boxing event in Miami, and he crashed out for real. Now, they're saying, you know, at first reports came out that he was getting jumped for his chain, and he defended himself with a firearm. So at first, I was like, all right, good, but he's in California. You know what I'm saying? In California, there's really no self-defense laws. And if you look at the video, he's in a fight, but then he starts pursuing the people that he was fighting. So it's kind of hard to get a self-defense, you know, defense when you're the one that's pursuing people, you know what I mean? You're not really standing your ground once you start pursuing them. But, you know, as details came out, you know, I think he's cooked 100%. It wasn't that they were trying to rob him. You know, allegedly, from what the investigation says, he had a friend, right? And they were in Dubai. Right? This guy's also a content creator. And, you know, they were partying. Now, this gentleman, he's a Muslim. He makes, like, Muslim content on the internet. And AB was wilding in, you know what I'm saying, he was having a party in a hotel. So the guy says, yo, I'm out because this is not my vibe, you know what I mean? So he leaves, and he leaves his chain by accident inside the hotel. So he goes home. He realizes his chain, which was valued, like, at $180,000, he left it in AB's hotel. So he calls AB. AB is not at that hotel no more. He's at another hotel. And he tells him, yo, I left my chain there. And AB tells him, yo, don't worry about it. My cousin's got the chain, and he's going to give it back to you. So he's like, all right, bet. Time goes on, and he doesn't get the chain back. You know what I mean? And then AB, like a couple weeks later, is on the internet wearing the guy's chain. You know what I mean? So they got beef over that, you know what I mean? So they see each other at Aiden Ross's concert, and AB is the one, from what reports say, go up to him and swing on him, and then AB's entourage actually is jumping him, you know what I mean? So the security gets involved, they break it up, AB somehow gets his hands on a firearm and discharges, and you know that's where it stems. That's where the whole situation stems from. I think AB is cooked. FBI is investigating. I don't know if they recovered the gun, but I think that's going to be the end of Mr. Antonio Brown. I don't know. Let's see. Moving on, Floyd Mayweather got caught capping. You know what I'm saying? You know, Money Mayweather, he likes to, you know, boast that he's got millions and billions of dollars and all this stuff. He says he bought 6 apartment buildings in Manhattan, and he's getting into real estate. And, you know, the thing, when you can cap with some things, right? You can cap with jewelry. Usually if you're a star, jewelers will come give you their whole collection of jewelry. You wear it, you say it's mine. You know, car dealers will bring 7 Bugattis to your house if you're an influencer. They'll let you ride them around as long as you promote the dealership, right? They'll let you wear the jewelry as long as you promote the jeweler. So people think, you know, that's how a lot of influencers be stunting on the gram and stuff like that. But when it comes to real estate, you can't front on that, right? There's titles. It's public information. You could look into it. So come to find out that he is just an ambassador for the real estate company. And, you know, people started trolling him online about it. And 50 Cent started trolling him online about it. You know, they got beef going back and forth. Moving on, we got Diddy beating the case, dude. It looks like, you know, I hate talking about the whole Diddy situation all the time, but it's dominating the news. And Diddy's defense team is really doing a great job. Like, he has like an all-star team of defense lawyers, and they're ripping the witnesses to shreds. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, it's a RICO case, right? So how can he be in a RICO case by himself? It's very simple. all the people who are testifying against him are his co-conspirators. You know what I'm saying? So they could go there and they could say they were victims, but there's text messages, there's videotapes. All these people were the co-conspirators. They're the ones who were calling the escorts. They're the ones who were paying. They're the ones who were setting up the parties. They were the one. Diddy had a whole team of people that was orchestrating what he wanted to get done. So they're all co-conspirators. So they're doing a good job. The only thing that I don't see how he beats the whole case is that there's evidence that he's paying these male escorts. So that is pretty much cut and dry in today human trafficking, right? You paid for prostitution. It's documented. I don't know how he's going to beat that. But as far as the allegations of grape and all that other stuff, I don't think he's going to go down for that. You know what I mean? But it's looking good. It's looking good for him as far as the trial goes. The prosecution looks like they got a weak case when it comes to that. All right, moving on. Moving on to my favorite topic is politics. And this week it's sweet. It is sweet. Yeah. Trump comes through with the no tax on tips. You know what I mean? Basically doubled all service workers' incomes on paper, right? So if you're a service worker, if you're a bartender, if you're a waitress, if you're a barista, if you're all these things, right, you get paid tips. And, it's up to you if you want to claim those tips or not. If you claim those tips, then you got to pay taxes on the tips, right? Some people do, some people don't. For the majority, I think most people don't, right? But how that affects you as a service worker is that you getting paid a minimum wage check, right? So if you get a minimum wage check and most of your money is in cash, it's hard for you to buy assets, right? It's hard for you to buy houses. It's hard for you to buy things that appreciate, because when the bank comes to you and they say, okay, Mr. Joe Blow, how much money do you make a year? Well, you make $18,000 a year. Well, in reality, you make $70,000 a year, but you don't claim the cash that you make. You know what I mean? So now people are going to be able to claim that. They're going to be able to buy their homes. You know what I'm saying? And it's a huge win for the middle class, the lower middle class. You know what I mean? Everybody says that Republicans are not for the middle class, that they're for the elite, they're for this. When has a Democrat ever done anything for you personally? You know what I mean? I don't know. But I'm getting what I voted for, and I'm super happy, bro. I filled up my gas tank at $2.70. You know what I'm saying? We're making trade deals across the world. Trump stopped that beef with India and Pakistan, and looks like we're going to be closing that Ukraine and Russia thing. And things are on the up and up, man. And I like to troll my Dem friends, and they got a problem for every solution. You know what I mean? I told them yesterday, the no tax on tips came through. We're straight. These are fellow service workers. You know what I mean? These are people who live on tips also, but they're so blinded by their bias, bro, that they just can't pay homage. They can't say, yeah, that was a good thing. They were just like, no, because they raised the interest rate on mortgages now, so you can't buy a house anyway. I'm like, yo, you bugging, cuz you could buy a crib even if the interest rate is high, but at least you could buy it and you could refinance it later when your communists take over the office and they lower interest rates like you claim they will. I don't know. Let's see. Also, Biden gets diagnosed with stage 4 prostate cancer, a very aggressive cancer. It's an unfortunate thing to hear, you know what I mean? Had the roles been switched and it was our president who was with that, you guys would be jumping for joy and you guys would be celebrating in the street. You know what I'm saying? Because you guys are a bunch of heathens. But, we're not happy about that. You know what I'm saying? If you've ever been sick, if you put yourself in those shoes, that's one news you don't want to hear in life. Don't matter if you're 80, 90, 30, 20. It's bad news. So, we send prayers out to the Biden family and him. I hope he gets well. You know what I mean? But it does expose one thing, right? How long has Trump been in office, Glizzy? Like 3 months? 3 months, right? You get stage 4 cancer in 3 months? I don't buy that. I don't buy that for a second. They'd known about this for a long time, you know what I'm saying? And their propaganda machine told us that he was the sharpest Joe Biden we've ever seen, that he was the most competent, he's the most strongest one. Even though we saw him, he couldn't get through a speech, you know what I'm saying? He looked frail when he was walking. the man was sick. The man was sick, and the left lied to the American people about it. They knew about it. That's why they didn't let him run again, and they put Kamala in there. You know what I mean? But that's that. Moving on. The Knicks are going to the NBA Finals. Holy crap. That is crazy. I can't believe it, man. Shout out to the Knicks, bro. Shout out to the Knicks fans. They are also a bunch of heathens who don't know how to act and are running wild in New York and Boston. But, I like the energy. I appreciate it. I like to see it. You know what I mean? Shout out to all the Knicks fans. I'm happy for you guys, man. And that's it, bro. That's the show. I appreciate you guys watching. Our views are just keep on going up and up and up. It is exciting, to say the least. Every time I look at my YouTube Studio app, there's a bunch of new comments. There's a bunch of new subscribers, bro. The views are doing good. And, it's what a time to be alive, bro. Super happy, bro. Thank you guys for watching, man. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. I appreciate y'all. Peace.